This video is brought to you by Skillshare. Wait. Before we start, I just want to get into the mood. I just want to put some music on. Give me 1 second. Rotten Tomatoes is an American review aggregation website for film and now television, although no one really cares about that part. The site was founded on August 12, 1998 by Sen Duong, an avid fan of Jackie Chan films. Duong's goal in creating the website was to, and I quote, create a site where people can get access to reviews from a variety of critics in the US. Now, I don't actually remember when everyone else became obsessed with Rotten Tomatoes, but I distinctly remember when I did. It was the night before the release of 2012's The Amazing Spider-Man. I was desperate to see how the film would perform with critics. Would it flop or would it soar? As I was waiting for the reviews to drop on Twitter and elsewhere, I discovered Rotten Tomatoes. On the website, I saw a giant tomato, fresh as can be, with a 73% plastered right next to it. Now, like most people, I thought that score was an indication of the film's actual rating. I thought critics generally gave it a 73 out of 100 or a 7.3 out of 10. To me, that wasn't too bad. Films like Only God Forgives, Lost River, To the Wonder, and Kids were ignored by me because of my misunderstanding of Rotten Tomatoes' algorithm. Over the last few years, I've noticed that I was not alone. While I eventually discovered the actual concept of Rotten Tomatoes, which is that the score is actually a percentage of critics who like the film, many still believe it is a reflection of the movie's actual quality. Rotten Tomatoes is a huge thorn in the sights of studios.
Step back and literally fuck your own face!
Earlier this year, a report published by Sves Bergquist, the director of the Data and Analytics Project at USC's Entertainment Technology Center, discovered that Rotten Tomatoes scores have never played a very big role in driving box office performance, either positively or negatively. And while I do not wish to disagree with someone obviously smarter than me, I will. Let's look at 2017 in general, specifically Transformers: The Last Knight. This film is the 5th in the franchise and features Mark Wahlberg, a superstar. The movie's marketing was quite decent, and the last film made over $1 billion worldwide.
You better have insurance. Insurance? It's a freaking spaceship.
The Last Knight struggled to make it past 600 million worldwide. Sure, franchise fatigue may have been real, but the movie's reviews definitely had an impact. On Rotten Tomatoes, the movie sits on 16%. To the people who do not understand how Rotten Tomatoes works, i.e. the general public, that's really bad. Acclaimed filmmaker and literal legend Martin Scorsese wrote a very detailed and in-depth essay regarding the current obsession with Rotten Tomatoes and the quote-unquote certified fresh. Scorsese writes, "In the past, when critics have had problems with my pictures, they would generally respond in a thoughtful manner. Rotten Tomatoes has set a tone that is hostile to serious filmmakers. Even the actual name, Rotten Tomatoes, is insulting. They rate a picture the way you'd rate a horse at the racetrack." Now, I agree with everything Scorsese is saying. As a member of Film Twitter, a subculture on Twitter which continuously discusses film and television, I've noticed the sheer power Rotten Tomatoes has. Whenever one discusses a film they like, especially if it has a rotten score, someone you'd never even discussed anything with, will comment on your tweet bringing up the rotten score. The amount of people who do not experience movies because of sites like Rotten Tomatoes is alarming. Now, if you know anything about me or you've been following the channel for a while, You know I will never defend Justice League. I hate that movie so much. But admittedly, in the movie's defense, Rotten Tomatoes did a really shitty thing to it. The site is aware of the traffic that it gets when a DC Comics movie is opening, particularly because fans are borderline obsessed with how many critics like or hate the latest film. For DC especially, the DC Extended Universe hasn't exactly done well with Rotten Tomatoes. The only positive film is Wonder Woman. Rotten Tomatoes recently launched a new online show called See It or Skip It. The title alone should tell you everything you need to know about the show and how it's run.
It's like that guy who loved you at first, but then he gave you gonorrhea, and you just keep coming back.
What a story, Marc.
At the end of one of the episodes, the show was set to reveal the tomato meter for Justice League. This meant that they hid all reviews and scores until the show concluded, in an attempt to draw a wider audience to their original programming. Rotten Tomatoes makes it sound like this is their rating. As Forbes' Scott Mendelson believes, Rotten Tomatoes and the See It or Skip It show impacted Justice League's opening weekend. Even more recently, Rotten Tomatoes' audience score for Star Wars The Last Jedi was brutalized by fans who may or may not have seen the film, something the site allows. So to answer the essay's question, is Rotten Tomatoes the death of cinema? No. But that does not mean we should let it become that. We are review obsessed right now. Before a movie starts to play at the Cineplex, I think we commonly whip out our phones and Google the IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes score for the film we're about to see. And that's a problem. When a film like Mother underperforms critically and commercially, studios take that as a warning not to create risky and interesting films. A film's quality shouldn't be determined like a scientific or mathematical problem, where there's a definitive answer. I think films are more emotional than that. As Scorsese says, good films by real filmmakers aren't made to be decoded, consumed, or instantly comprehended. Maybe Rotten Tomatoes will fade away and dissolve in the light of a new spirit of film literacy. Meanwhile, passionately crafted pictures will continue to grow in our minds. Hey guys, before I go, I just want to talk to you very quickly about my incredible sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with more than 18,000 classes in photography, film, writing, and much more. Premium membership gives you the unlimited access to high quality classes from experts working in their fields, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work that you love. And Skillshare is more affordable than most learning platforms out there. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Now for me, this is incredible because, as you can tell, I'm a teenager and I don't really have the finances to go to film school. However, Skillshare is fantastic in the sense that there are classes that teach all the things I want to learn at film school online. If you hit the link in the description below, you'll get a 2-month free trial of Skillshare. As always guys, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you around.